Brian Smith, publisher of Inside the Knights on Fan Nation, powered by Sports Illustrated. And just a couple of quick facts on this situation that's going on with Gordon Gee, the West Virginia president that made the statement recently that he will not vote to expand the college football playoff. Number one, that's not surprising. He's mad, and several other people are mad, that Oklahoma and Texas, two teams that are members of the Big 12, where West Virginia is also located, conference-wise, obviously not geographically, and he's not happy about it. Their conference is going to lose tons of money, their bowl revenue and the shares, all of that. He knows that. But he does have leverage because, allegedly, you need a unanimous vote. Very important data point. Unanimous vote for the playoff to expand, and he's on this particular committee that allows this vote to take place. He also made mention that the Pac-12, as well as the Big Ten, in his opinion, will not vote for it either. What does this mean? It means bargaining tools at the table. The SEC, ACC, or whatever conferences they're competing with and potentially trying to grab other schools from, that's going to be the point here. UCF gets involved because of the following. If you're UCF, do you want to jump into the Big 12, just like with West Virginia, if you don't know the situation? There's only so much you can do when a program doesn't have an idea of how many teams are going to be in a conference. Are they going to have guaranteed bowls? What's the opportunity to play good games and eventually get invited to the playoff if it does eventually expand to 12? These are very difficult things to project. So what Gordon Gee is saying is something that everybody needs to understand. It's about the money and it's about the opportunity. They're mad. That's pride as well. Don't ever forget that. Pride does matter. Oklahoma and Texas just jumped on down the road and they did it really quick. And nobody wants them to do that without getting a little pushback. People are human. They have emotions and that's part of it. They're going to hold this up until they get something that they like in return. Is there a way around it for these other schools? Is there a way to make a playoff without them? Possibly. But everybody says, oh, we're just going to break off and we're not going to be a part of it. It doesn't work that way because you have all the other institutions that have other schools and they vote on this kind of stuff too. Who are you going to play? That's number one. Number two, you have other sports. So the people talking about breaking away, that's just not going to work. You need everybody for it to work. Like it or not, people can get mad. It's still true. And West Virginia is just one school, just one, that's talking about this. Don't think that Iowa State or Oklahoma State or Baylor or TCU, etc., aren't disappointed in what Oklahoma and Texas did. And the Pac-12 knows that the Big 12 is going to try to grab teams, vice versa. They're going to wait until the dust settles to vote. That's all this is. So looking forward, UCF has been talked about with an opportunity to go to the Big 12, and I'm all for it. But they know, and I know too, you have to have your ducks in a row. Do you know the exact, and I mean the exact teams that are going to be in there? No more surprises. And is there anybody else leaving? You need to have all these things done, and it's all lawyers and paperwork. Until you figure that out, it's best to stay put. You need to find out for sure. So take that into consideration. There's probably going to be a lot of updates between now and the next year and a half, posturing one way or the other. Somebody puts out an article that somebody called them and said, hey, why don't you write this for us, etc. It's all political posturing. It's no different than Congress or anything else because it's about money. Brian Smith, publisher of Inside the Knights.